All right, everybody, thanks so much for joining today. We are meeting for a social media soiree, which is a fun event that we like to put together at Betsy Bash because, it's really time to start treating social media like a party and showing up as such with your business. So every time we throw a party, it's a social media soiree, and we talk about different social media topics that will help you with your business. So today's topic, bless your heart. This is why no one is liking your posts. So we're going to talk about the Facebook algorithm, what components drive the algorithm, and what engaging content looks like that wins inside the algorithm, so that you can start creating content on your pages that will win against the Facebook algorithm. So a little bit about me before we get started. My name is Lauren Ramsey. I'm the founder of Betsy Bash. We're going to go in a little bit more about what Betsy Bash is and where that name came from in a second. But I want to tell you about me first. So all the countries that you see in orange there, I have either lived there or I visited there. So in total, that is 30 countries. I lived in 5 countries by the time I was 7. I was born in Southeast Asia. I went to kindergarten in India and went to 2nd grade in Venezuela, and then came to the States for the first time. So that was really an incredible experience. And while we were traveling as a family, we traveled all over the world. And I've definitely kept that habit up. Most recently, I think my ventures out of the States took me to Costa Rica. And that was about 2 years ago. So I'm well overdue for a trip outside the country. So a little bit about my educational background. I went to school in Houston, Texas, and that's really where I spent most of my life. From when we moved back to the States, that's where we lived, in the Houston area, and then that's where I went to college. I went to the University of St. Thomas, and I majored adult management, information systems, and business. And my senior year of college, I took my marketing credit, and I was like, stop the presses. This is what I want to do with my life. I realized how much of a passion I had for marketing. And it made sense because my mom had a business growing up and I helped her with it. So it was kind of surprising that I didn't put that together earlier, but college. So what I ended up doing was graduating with my double major in MIS and business, and then working part-time at Radio Disney. And I did that for 5 years. So I worked evenings and weekends with the mouse, and I learned promotions and marketing and branding from Radio Disney, which, one of the best companies in the world to learn that from, hands down. I also was able to record a radio show with them. So I was the host and producer of their weekend show called Kids Concerns, and that was an absolute blast. So meanwhile, I'm doing this on the part-time, but what am I doing full-time? So I was working in IT project management. One of the longest places I worked for was Citibank, and I worked in commodities trading, IT project management, and then moved on to consulting and worked for a lot of the oil majors down in Houston. And then about 10 years after college, I said, okay, actually, let me back up. So when I left Radio Disney, which was about after 5 years after college, I left Radio Disney because I had a passion. I still had that marketing and PR passion, and I wanted to build something on my own. So I left Disney to start Betsy Bash and Lauren Ignited. And Betsy Bash was my social media company, and Lauren Ignited was my blog. And I really had a fun time, talking about the Houston music scene, things that I was really passionate about, things that really ignited me. That's where I wrote about it. And then I started interviewing bands and taking concert photography, and it's been a blast. And both of those companies started 7 years ago. Then about 2 years ago, I left my full-time job and ventured out to do Betsy Bash and Lauren Ignited full-time. That was a huge step. At the same time, I also moved to Chicago, even bigger step. So I've been living in Chicago for almost 2 years now. And then in the past year, I started a podcast called Chefs Coast to Coast, which was really fun. I interview chefs in the Houston and Chicago area, find out their story, how they became an executive chef or a restaurant owner, and what their biggest fail is in the kitchen, because all chefs have one, and what they did. How did they recover, or did they just say, what, this was a miss, and that's okay. And then, of course, a recipe that we can make at home that's not too fancy, but is super delicious. So check that out. It's on iTunes and Google Play, all the fun things. But that's a little bit about me. So Betsy Bash. Now, who is Betsy? Obviously, I am Lauren. So Betsy Bash is the name of my company because it's a name that I formed based around my grandmothers. My grandmothers were very influential in my life, and they taught me two things. So my Grammy, my mom's mom, she taught me to always know the etiquette of whatever situation you walk into. She was always perfectly poised. She always knew the absolute appropriate etiquette. And if you didn't, she didn't mind telling you. So growing up, I definitely received more than one etiquette book as a gift, and I was expected to follow by it. My Mimi, which is my dad's mom, which you can kind of tell from this picture, she was a little bit of a firecracker. She was always making jokes and having fun, and she would talk her way out of speeding tickets and take me for fun trips around the city and just girls' day, whatever we wanted to do. She really explored, she really inspired me to explore the other things in life, to not be so regimented or play by the rules too much. She said, bend the rules a little bit. So, these two women really taught me that you have to know the etiquette of any situation you're walking into, but once you're there, have some fun, differentiate yourself, be different, right? And that applies immediately to social media. And I think that's why I'm so drawn to it, because Facebook is very different than Twitter, which is very different than Instagram. And that's something that I just naturally understand, right? Because I look at it as completely different communities and completely different platforms with completely different etiquette. So one of the things we'll talk about later today is hashtags, right? And you're not going to use hashtags on Facebook very much. There's a few situations where it's appropriate, but most of the time, Facebook is not the place for hashtags. Instagram, hashtag your heart out, because you've got up to 30 spots to drop a hashtag. So, the etiquette of these social media channels are different. And then once you're there, you have to differentiate yourself from other brands. So how do you make yourself interesting? What is it about your brand that people are going to want to connect to? So that's one of the things that we teach here at Betsy Bash, and that I work with on my clients that I work as coaching or consulting clients. So a little bit about what our work looks like. This is one of our clients on the left, BB's Cafe. They are a Cajun cafe, Tex Orleans Cajun cafe in Houston, Texas. And one of the things that they are most known for is their crawfish. It is, much anticipated and very sad when the season is over. So one day I was like, I really want to find a crawfish meme. And so I was scouring the internet, really looking for something that would resonate with the Facebook community that BB's has built. And I found this gem, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is perfect, because Houston would spend the last of their dollars on crawfish for sure. And so, every time you post something, it's always, a little bit of a test. Like, will this work the way that I think it will? And this one really, really did what we thought it would. So it was liked over 500 times, shared almost 300 times, and there was lots of comments left. So that one was a really proud moment for us, and just kind of resonates, how we work with our clients and understand their communities. The second picture is with another client called Hot Pets in their mobile grooming salon. And we just wanted to find a really cute picture of, cats or dogs, and we found both at the same time. So this was fantastic. So it's kittens cuddling with Dalmatians, and this one did really well. So they got over 1,000 people reached, and quite a few likes, and then 17,000. So that was a really good post for them as well. So we talked a little bit about BBs and Hot Pets. I also work with coaching clients. So Eugenie Schultz is out of France, and she is a brand and style guide for entrepreneurs. She's fantastic to work with. And Amy Dufresne is a joy coach, and so she does great work, and I help them both with their social media strategy. All right, so we always start our social media soirees out with a social media etiquette tip. So I kind of alluded to this earlier, but we're going to talk about hashtags on Facebook. So when can you use a hashtag on Facebook? When is it appropriate? So during a major sports event or a major nationwide event, right, like the Super Bowl, that is going to be something that lots of people are searching for. They're looking for posts outside their normal friend group. They're looking for it outside their local pages that they follow. So it's totally fine to use it in that situation. Same thing with a major disaster and a natural catastrophe, because people are looking for news, they're looking for it fast. And so, Hurricane Harvey was a good one, also Houston Strong. And obviously being from Houston, that was a very important event to me to make sure that I was helping and sharing getting the word out as quickly as we could, and we're still continuing to do so from the Lauren Ignited, Betsy Bash, and my personal Facebook pages. Or maybe like a large conference. That's another situation where, I mean, it needs to be pretty big, not a few hundred people, but a few thousand people. So if you're at one of those conferences and people are taking notes or taking pictures throughout the day, you can use the hashtag for your posts in that situation. But other than that, leave the hashtags off Facebook. All right, so let's get into the crux of why we're here. What is the Facebook algorithm? How does it work? Right? What are the components that make this algorithm tick? And how do you make your content work, right? So first we'll talk about the algorithm. There's essentially 4 major components to the formula that drives the Facebook algorithm. And I'm gonna, compare them to going to a restaurant and ordering off a menu, okay? So the inventory is essentially, when you log into Facebook, all of the posts that are happening on your Facebook feed right now, recently, from your friends a couple days ago, all of those posts are the inventory. So in our analogy, that would be the menu, right? So what's on the menu for you to order today? The signals is kind of like the juiciness of those posts, right? So, is it lunchtime and you want to order a lunch dish? Would it be weird to have coffee at 9 p.m., right? So these are the signals that say, like, does this make sense right now? So I think that kind of summarizes signals. Prediction is like the likelihood that you as a Facebook user would enjoy that post, right? So have you ordered from that menu and ordered that item before? Right. So going back to, Facebook, do you often like or comment on this person's posts? Facebook can kind of predict that you would be interested in that post based on your past behavior, right? So just the same way on a menu, if you've ordered it before, there's a likelihood that you'll order it again. And then those 3 things really drive the score. So then you've got your engagement score, and that's going back to the menu example, that's like ordering off the menu. So now you've decided this is the thing that I want. So every time you load your Facebook newsfeed, this is what happens behind the scenes, right? And this is why sometimes you'll see a happy birthday post from a day ago, but because it's a close friend of yours, Facebook wants to make sure you see it. So even though they're not in order, not time chronologically in order anymore, they're driven by this algorithm. So inventory signals prediction. Inventory is like the menu at a restaurant. Signals is like the time of day and as compared to the inventory, right? So does coffee make sense at 9 p.m.? Maybe not, right? And then the predictions, have you ordered this before? And what do you think they'll order it again, right? So inventory is like the posts that are available. Signals is like, if it was a happy birthday post from 2 weeks ago, probably not as relevant anymore. And predictions is, have you interacted with this person before? Do you seem to really enjoy what they post? So what will engaging content do, right? It's going to generate reactions. So in the Facebook algorithm, the reactions are actually weighted higher than the likes. So if you were able to get someone to put the heart reaction or the happy, the laughing face reaction, that's engaging content, right? And that's higher in score than just somebody liking a post. It's easy to like. It takes more time to show a reaction, and a reaction really does show engagement, right? Because you really think it's funny, or you think you're angry about it, or you really love what they're posting. Engaging content will generate comments, right? So it's going to be something that drives you to say something. So think about that when you're writing your content. It's going to take some time to consume. So this is one of the things, this is one of the reasons why video is ranked so high in the Facebook algorithm, because you're going to sit there and you're going to watch this video, right? So whether it's a video that rolls right when you get to the post, or one that you have to click, if you have to click off Facebook, that's not the same. That's not going to be weighted the same. But if you're something that you're going to have to pause your scrolling of your news feed to watch, that's going to take some time, and that's going to show engagement because they could scroll right past it, but they're stopping to watch it. It's going to be something that you want to share. You're going to read it and say, oh my gosh, I'm so glad this person shared this with me. I need to share it as well. So, a good example of that is a lot of the Hurricane Harvey news. It needed to be shared right away, right? But you also had to check the timestamp to make sure that it wasn't old news. It's something that's going to be clicked. So let's say it's an article that's really interesting. Maybe it's a deep dive analysis into your industry and a particular facet of your industry that's particularly fascinating to your clients or to your customers or to your friends. They're going to want to click that. And engaging content is posted regularly. So one of the components of the Facebook algorithm is that, that prediction, right? So do they like your posts? Do you like their posts? And the only way they're going to be able to like your posts is if you post regularly. So the less frequently that you post, the less chance you have that they're going to interact with it. The less they interact with it, the less that you can get that prediction score. So you have to post regularly. I always tell my clients 1 to 2 times per day on Facebook. So this is what engaging content looks like. It's going to be reactions. It's going to be comments. It's going to take some time. It's going to be video, right? It's going to be shareable. It's going to be clickable, and it's going to be posted every day. So how do you create engaging content like this? So if you have your own blog, then you have the ability to drive shareable, clickable content. So if you don't have to look for that article that has a clickbaity type headline or a headline that is super catchy, you can create your own. So you know your audience better than anyone. You know your community better than anyone. So you should be able to create something that serves them well and that provides them with with the headline they're going to be interested in and they're going to be curious about. So leverage your own blog and use some catchy titles and then share it on Facebook. You can also use the Facebook Audience Builder to find the interests of your audience. So this is more of an advanced topic. Definitely reach out to me separately after this webinar by just visiting betsybash.com/chat, CHAT. I'll walk you through this process. I don't want to get too deep into the weeds on this, but essentially in the back end of Facebook within your ads manager, you can leverage this tool to find out what are the interests of your audience and then how do you build content around that, right? And then incorporating trending topics into your post, but not in a spammy way, okay? So for instance, it might be, let's see, we just saw a really good example of this. It's escaping me. Okay, here's a fun one, okay? So a fun one that we did recently was a video for hot pets. And the song Despacito is pretty popular right now, right? I don't know that it's really a trending topic, but it kind of lends itself to curiosity because people really enjoy that song. So I found a video of a cat dancing with the assistance of a human to the song Despacito, right? And so what we did, we said like sing along with us, and we included some lyrics from the song. And then we said, when your cat feels good, they'll want to do fun things like sing and dance around the house. Be sure to book your cat spa appointment with Hot Pets today. Here's the phone number, here's the website, here's the information. So it's a fun way to say, like, here's something that is different. We're not just going to give you a sales message. We're going to tie it in to a topic that, is fun. It's topical. It's trending. It's, culture reference, pop culture reference. So it's just a little different, right? So it catches people's eyes in a new way, which they enjoy. And then, what would you share if someone posted it? Post that stuff on your Facebook business page. If it's something that you would pause to stop and share, maybe it's something that you have paused to stop and share today. What's keeping you from putting that on your Facebook business page, right? What's keeping you from posting it on your Facebook business page, then sharing it to your personal page, so that people on your personal friends list are reminded of your business page and given the chance to share, click, engage with, react to, comment on that content. And then mix up your content, right? Nobody wants to be sold to all day, and you're in business for a reason. You can't, not sell. So you need a mix of discussions around your business, discussions around things your businesses are interested in, things that you're interested in personally, and then of course, what you sell and how you can help your community and help your audience. So we also do another class every month around social media strategies and content calendars. This is a really great course to attend. It's a really great workshop to attend. If you don't have a content calendar or you've never worked with one and you're really looking to incorporate and step up your social media strategy, right? Instead of like throwing things at the wall every day and seeing if it works, really go into the week with a plan and stick to it, right? Because that is part of the engagement factor. If you don't post every day, people can't like it every day, and then Facebook can't predict that they'll like it. It's just as simple as that. So if you have a plan, it's a lot easier to post and it's a lot easier to stick to it. So I would encourage you to check out our classes. Just go to betsybash.com. We've got some more information there about when the next social media soiree that's focused on the social media strategy calendar is. So you can find all the information there. So these are some tips for creating engagement on your Facebook page. There's certainly other ways to do it, but these are the top 6 that we've seen work over and over and over again for ourselves and for our clients. So really, catching people's eyes with catchy titles, using, the tools that you have within Facebook to figure out what people are interested in, incorporating trending topics or interesting culture references into your posts. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a sales message like our example earlier. It can just be something about, your business or your story or something like that. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a sales message, but incorporating those trending topics into your posts is positive. Share things that you're interested in personally, mix up your content, and really create a calendar and stick to it. All right, so does anybody have any questions? If you have a question that you think of after this class, you're more than welcome to set up a time to talk with me. You can just go to betsybash.com/chat. That's CHAT, and there's a calendar there. You can just book a spot on my calendar. No charge to you, no expectation to book any kind of session with me after following up that call. This is just, my time to work with you and really help you through whatever's on your mind. Even if it's not Facebook engagement, if you've got another question about social media, I'd love to help you through it. This is my passion. This is why I started this business. So if there's no questions, let's see, I think we've got one coming through. Okay, so they're asking about Facebook groups and how does that play in. So Facebook groups are definitely a part of this strategy and calendar, and then just overall engagement factor, because those are going to show up in your newsfeed as well. They're only going to show up to people that are a part of that group, so take that into consideration, right? So if you have a small amount of followers in your Facebook group, you're going to be up against a larger kind of challenge, I would say, to get that high score in your Facebook algorithm, because there's less people available to see the posts that you post every day, hopefully. If not, make sure you start posting every day. But Facebook groups are a great way to boost engagement, especially now that you can link your Facebook groups to your pages so people can naturally just see what groups you have out there for them. And then depending on how you have it, whether it's open, closed, or private, they can participate right away or go through a little approval process. Okay, guys, well, thank you so much for joining. We're going to give you a little bit of your time back today so that you can get on and get moving and get back to your business. So thankful that you spent some time with me today. If you do have any questions, don't forget to reach out, betsybash.com/chat, betsybash.com/CHAT. All right, thanks, guys. This is Lauren. Can't wait to talk to you again soon.